In this video, I'll be initializing Django application. Django has a very good documentation on its website. So let's start from the documentation provided. Let me create a directory called news portal. cd news portal. Right now the directory is empty. We could load a Django app directly, but I would like to follow a standard practice in web application development, which is using virtual environment for every application that you develop. Python has a very good framework called pip environment. There's documentation on this, which I'll be posting in the video below. So let me install pip environment. So pip install pip env. Since I have already installed it, so it says requirement already satisfied, but in your case you might have to it will show a different log. Now that I have installed pip-env, let me initialize first of all the virtual environment, which is done through pip-env install. Once I initialize the virtual environment, I see following files in my directory: pip file and piplog. Let's see what these files are. Let me add the folder to the workspace. My app, news portal, add. So news portal, right? So these are the files created by pip environment to manage the virtual environment. Right now it says the environment is based on Python 3.7, and that's it. Okay, let's install Django in our virtual environment, and we do that by first activating our environment. The way to activate the environment is from the folder which has pip file, we do pip environment shell. Once you do that, it shows okay, the virtual environment is activated, right? Now let's install Django in our virtual environment. Pip env install Django. Django is a huge module, so it might take a while to install it. When it's installing, it updates our pip file, the file that is tracking the libraries being used for this application. As you can see, it has already updated the document. Inside packages, we see it has added a module called or a library called Django. Now we are done with installing Django. We still have the folder is empty beside the pip files. What we did was we just downloaded the Django framework in our virtual environment. Now let's create our app using Django, and for that let's follow the tutorial. To start our application, we can use this command here, Django admin start project, and our site will be called news. Let's call it app first. Once you do that, there should be a folder created called app, right? Let's go to news portal app, right? And inside app, it already has provided boilerplate codes, which is very convenient for Django. Next step is, as you can see in the documentation, it says what are the kind of files it has created. Now we can immediately run Django application at this point. So Python, let's go to our app first. Python manage run server. Okay, this port is already in use because I'm running the old application at this point. So let me change the port to port 2000. So an application is started at port 3000. Let's see how it looks at this point. This is the default page provided by Django, right? And let's look into the boilerplate code that it already has. So init.py, which is the to source the module outside of the package, right? Settings file through which we provide setting to Django application. We'll look into it further later. URL, this is where our application URL are defined. And also we have our database SQLite created. If you check at the log of the application, it says there are 17 unapplied migrations. So a Django application comes with like a lot of like default boilerplate clothes and along with database itself. And there are a couple of like features provided by Django by default, and to fully integrate that, we need to run uh, Django Python migrate, which will create like a initialize table in the database. So let's run that. Let's stop the app for now. Let's run the migrate. Yeah, with that our SQLite database is filled. Since I cannot open this with the UTF-8 encoding, it's giving the encoding error, but we can open this with SQLite client, which I'll be showing later. So with that, we have basic application ready. Next step is to create a sub app, which is like a design pattern of Django. Even if you check out the tutorial, it asks to create a app inside a service. A service can have like multiple application. For example, in case of e-commerce, say order purchase is a different service than product list, right? The concept is basically kind of like a micro services where you are creating services out of each features. In our case, although we won't have like all these microservices, but let's follow the standard practice of Django application. Um, Let me activate the virtual environment in a separate terminal. After that, let's go to app. For Django functions provided by Django are available through manage.py, so we need to be in that folder in order to run Django functions. Let me run the command to create a sub app called news. Once you do that, there is a new folder created called news, and inside news it has a lot of boilerplate code, like admin.py, apps.py, model.py, test.py, view.py. That's the advantage of using Django, because it already has a lot of boilerplate codes. Next we go to the part where we um, create an admin user. Before that, let's make sure that the configurations of our sub app is available to our main app. For that, we need to make sure that we provide configuration related to the sub app called news to our root app. And for that, we need to add a line here in install application inside settings.py. So our sub app is called news, right? And inside news we have apps, folder called apps, and inside apps we have a module called news config, right? By defining that, we are able to load all the configuration that we supply to our sub app. Next step, we are creating a admin user without which we cannot log into our system, right? And that has to be done after we have completed the migration of our database, which we already did earlier. To create a admin user, super user, we can do that by the function called create super user. I'll call super user as admin. Email address, right now I'll just say admin@localhost. Password, just some password. Yeah, for this one we're creating a simple user, but when you are using it for production, let's create a bit difficult password. Super user has been created. Once we do that, then we should be able to log into our system. So let's load our application. Just refresh it. And let me see if I'm able to log into the system. We are in the admin portal now. By default, it already provides model for user and group through which we can manage users. Hi guys, this is Nas from Anybody Can Code. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.